When I went to this club, they had a bunch of members and volunteers there doing the hunter safety course.
Right on.
Right. They had all these different stations set up, where you're learning a different thing. Everybody's really eager to teach you what to do. And I thought that's just a different model than like, a country club, right? Or just a different vibe, right? I mean,
Right.
Sure, people want to golf with other people, but that as a whole group, they were trying to instill the passion that they had for hunting, shooting, guns, whatever, and even the whole safety piece.
The thing to keep in mind, every one of those guys were volunteers at Emmett County. Actually, the hunter safety is ran by the Law Enforcement Division, so they oversee it. They put up a lot of requirements that these volunteers have to meet before they can teach the class.
Okay, so welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. No, this is something else, isn't it?
Yes.
Weren't you on that? Or was that your...
No, I wasn't. My dad was on Michigan Out of Doors.
He was?
And this brings back a memory of being a little kid, maybe 4 years old, watching TV. I think they did it live. And Morton F. was the host, very famous outdoorsman. I'm a little older than you, so you won't remember him. But Thursday nights, Channel 4, everybody stopped what they were doing to watch Morton F. That was back when there were 1 million deer hunters in Michigan.
Wow.
On opening day. So Mort was a big deal. Anyway, he had my dad as a guest to talk about dog training. And Mort had everybody, we're sitting on these little kind of short chairs. Mort had everybody on a taller chair. And Mort was he was a taller guy that I remember. And my dad was only 5'7", and his feet wouldn't hit the floor. And my dad was fidgety, and he kept kicking his feet the whole time. And you could smoke on TV back then, and he'd smoke a cigar and kick his feet.
He's
kind of
pretty
wiggling.
happy, huh?
Yeah, he was just happy to be on TV.
That's great.
Be a star with Morton F.
And how do you feel?
How do I feel?
Feel happy to be
I'm happy to be here with Matt Loria.
All right. I'm happy to be here with Charlie Mann.
All right, man.
Yeah. So anybody who doesn't know Charlie, he's the owner and president of Hunters Creek Club in Metamora, Michigan. Did I say that right?
Right on. Hunters Creek Club Incorporated.
Okay. So I wore some cowboy boots today. My friend Curtis Hayes, who has been on the podcast, is going to be on again real soon. He highly recommends cowboy boots, so I got a pair. And I thought, what a great day to wear them with the guy from Metamora and the Hunt Club. So you have to show me how to ride a horse someday.
Well, I gave that up a long time ago.
Okay. Do you have horses out there?
No, we don't. I used to always keep a horse till I was about 20.
Okay.
And then got thrown one time too many and decided that was enough of that.
Okay. And that's how you made it into your current age?
Yeah, staying off the horses.
All right.
Like still walk.
That's the best, the two best tips, right? Stay away from horses and wild women.
Yeah, or wild women that like horses.
Okay, that
gets real expensive.
I would imagine so. So why do you think? When I went to this club, they had a bunch of members and volunteers there doing the hunter safety course.
Right on.
Right. They had all these different stations set up, where you're learning a different thing. Everybody's really eager to teach you what to do, and I thought that's just a different model than like, a country club, right? Or just a different vibe, right? I mean,
Right.
Sure, people want to golf with other people, but this really felt like they were really trying to that as a whole group, they were trying to instill the passion that they had for hunting, shooting, guns, whatever, and even the whole safety piece, right? They just wanted to ingrain that in everybody, whether they were a 10-year-old in that group or a 60-year-old in that group. They were, really excited to get you involved.
That's great. That's a great culture that they have there then.
Mm-hmm.
And hunter safety, if people aren't familiar with hunter safety, if you were born after January 1st, 1960 in the state of Michigan, or actually across the whole country now, it's universal, you have to complete a hunter safety course to get a hunting license. And a good thing from a safety aspect, it's a bit of a barrier to entry as we try to grow the sport and bring new people in. And there's some workarounds that they've done on that. For example, if you're a new hunter, and you can't get hunter safety right away, and I'll talk about why you can't sometimes in a second. But if you can't get it right away, the state will actually let you buy what's called an apprentice hunting license.
Okay.
And you can hunt for 2 years under a mentorship. So you'll be the apprentice of if you're a minor, an adult. If you're an adult, you can still buy the apprentice, but you have to be under somebody's mentorship, an adult hunter.
Okay, so if the DNR comes up to you while you're hunting on an apprentice license, you better have
Your apprentice,
a fully licensed.
You better have your journeyman with you.
Okay.
You better have your mentor with you.
Okay.
So that's one way that we can get people involved. But during that time frame of 2 years, you need to get proactive about finding a hunter safety course and taking it.
So it doesn't just count if just because you were underneath the other person.
No, it doesn't. No,
you still got to go take the course.
So how the course works, there's 2 ways it works. There's what they call just a straight field day. I think you have to go do 10 hours of instruction over 2 days at a club like Emmett County. Or you can do a class online and then go do a 5-hour field day.
And that's what we did. We did the online. So each of the 2 boys had to have our own logins, went on there, took all the tests and everything, you go through the course, then you take tests kind of along the way. And then at the end, you get a certificate that you can then go register for a field day. And so that's what we did, was registered for the field day.
And then the field day was presented at Emmett County.
Yes.
Yep. And they had a great
fantastic
layout for you, which is really neat. So the thing to keep in mind, every one of those guys were volunteers at Emmett County. And the DNR has, it's actually, the hunter safety is ran by the law enforcement division. So they oversee it.
The law enforcement division of the DNR?
Of the DNR, yes. So they put up a lot of requirements that these volunteers have to meet before they can teach the class.
Oh, okay.
And it's fairly intensive. So that's one little barrier to getting new instructors. I think it's great that they're screening them, doing all that type of thing. Then they give up a day or 2 of their hunting season, usually, or family time, to teach this class. So you got to really give these guys kudos for doing it. The issue is they're having a hard time recruiting new volunteers to teach a class. I think, and this is subjective, I don't have data, but demand outweighs availability. So there's way more people wanting hunter safety than are our classes available.
Well, I can tell you, I mean, at that class, we signed up real early, and like my brother tried to take his boy, and it was sold out. It was sold out by, I don't remember, at least a month in advance of the actual field day.
So and we're losing the old hunters, and then the young hunters, like your brother's kids, can't get into the class. Again, that's not going to preclude them from hunting. They'll still be able to hunt on the apprentice license.
Sure.
But if the class is done right, it really invigorates a kid, really wants to get them excited about
my
going
guys
out.
were pumped. They were totally pumped. And the great thing is the safety part of it, when we're bringing stuff in and out of the car, when we're handing things over, I mean, they're calling me out, right? They know the rules.
Right on.
So it's fantastic.
It's good. So if it's not a good, well-taught class, it can be 10 hours of torture too.
Oh, sure.
So you got to get the right people in it. We have to get more instructors involved. I'm not an instructor anymore. I'm embarrassed to say that, actually, but it just, I don't have it in my schedule to do all the hoops, jump through all the hoops.
Yeah.
All the other hoops I have to jump through. So it takes a special person to want to do it. They just actually passed a bill about 4 months ago that it didn't have any teeth really, but it said school districts can teach hunter safety inside the school system during a phys ed class.
Oh, okay.
So the trick though is getting, and I think it'd be great if the professional educators grabbed a hold of it as opposed to volunteers who aren't really educators to begin with.
Yeah.
And got this thing going. But it's got to get traction within school districts. And that's going to be interesting to see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, though, it prolificates the hunter safety class because, again, it's the first. We always used to say loss of habitat is the greatest threat to hunting. That's what they'll teach you in hunter safety.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, the inability to get hunter safety, and then the scarcity of mentors, to me, feels like that's the biggest threat to hunting. And busy kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kids in soccer, kids in hockey, kids in baseball. They're just not outdoors doing hunting. And now hunting. When I was a kid, I lived 3 miles out of this town of Lapeer. Lived in a little 10-house sub. Around the sub was about probably a section and a half of land. So let's say 1,000 acres. Undeveloped. I could go out and hunt after school.
Mm-hmm.
There were wild pheasants behind my house. And there were deer, there were rabbits. And we'd go back there and we had our own little sporting estate. Those kind of opportunities are not there for young hunters anymore either.
No.
So that's another thing.
What is you said there was over 1 million hunters at one time?
There were over 1 million deer, 750,000, close to 1 million at one point.
What are we at now?
We're like at 380,000 maybe. Again, I'm going from memory.
Okay.
We could Google it.
We're significantly lower than it was at its peak.
Yes.
And so that's given us we got a lot of deer on the road.
Yeah.
Sort of issue.
Yeah. The two things, the habitat for deer has really improved. Just the growth has been right. They've adapted to urban areas.
Oh, we know. We've got them right here in Rochester. They look both ways to cross the road.
And less people hunting them. Again, when I grew up in a rural area. I'm about a decade older than you. Mm-hmm. And deer hunting, getting a deer was an important part of a family's survival to have protein in the house. How many?
Do you still hunt?
Oh yeah.
How many deer do you take a year?
I'm gonna pass on that. I take not more than I legally can.
Sure.
But we do a lot of management on our property just because of overpopulation.
Okay, gotcha.
We'll shoot. I just go out and do a management call of does. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of guys today.
What do you do? Give it a lot of it away, or what do you do?
Yeah, I eat a lot of it. Yeah, give some away.
Yeah, we probably go through 4 or 5 ourselves.
Yeah, that's a lot of venison. Mm-hmm. Very healthy.
Well, that's why my boys they eat a lot of meat.
Yeah, that's right. And
we slip it into the spaghetti sauce and don't tell people that it's venison too. So if you're coming over our house, there's a high likeliness that you're going to get some venison.
Well, there's still people that don't think we should harvest the does, and it's like, come on. There's probably parts of the state where you shouldn't harvest does, but in Oakland County, Lapeer County, if you don't, it's doing significant ecological damage.
Well, we've got an extended season here we were hunting into, was it end of January? I think it was
almost into February.
Yeah. Yeah. We hunted the last day and got our last doe, that day. Actually, my daughter's boyfriend took that one.
Awesome.
Yeah. Last day. So, and then,
you're doing your part, Matt.
Thanks. Yeah. I'm here to help. And then we've got a few farmers though, in our sphere that, they've got to manage those deer kind of not year round. Cause you don't think it's, does it open back up for the management side back in July, I think?
I think that's when they do.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to go out in July and help out a little bit more too. So, you said something to me the other day that was really cool, which was, that you're really energized right now. You said you're in a really good place, and it was because you just loved how the younger guys and gals were taking some reins up at the club and just innovating a bit and taking some real ownership. Remind me what you said. Do you remember what words you used?
Well, first of all, let me back up a little bit. I've been there going to work since I was 8.
Okay.
My dad started taking me to work when I was 8 years old. I wanted a motorcycle. He said, if you want a motorcycle, you got to buy it with your own money. And he says, I got a job for you. And that's how he got me to go to work at 8. I gave up on the motorcycle. So by
9, did you have a motorcycle?
No, I never bought the motorcycle. Okay. I bought it like when I was 13. But
okay.
No, there were a lot of other shiny pennies between that I was spending money on. But I've been there a long time. Had a lot of good people come in. But I just feel like right now I got a group of young guys, a solid. We always had some superstars, but I got a full line of superstars.
That's fun.
Yes, a full 2 lines actually of superstars. So
good.
Guys that are just really into hunting and fishing. So first of all, it's really hard work. You're outside, which it sounds great, but last Friday when the wind was blowing 40 miles an hour and the snow was coming down and then it decided to rain and it started to blow a little harder. Then it started to get really cold. That's a hard day. And they're out there in it 10 hours and they're walking, one of my guys told me yesterday he did 24,000 steps. So it takes
what are they doing on a bad weather day?
They're hunting. We're going bird hunting.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh yeah, we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if it's not a rain out, there's no rain delays?
There's lightning out. If it rains too hard, we can't go, but
generally speaking,
we go. If the hunters are there, we'll go. So it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of, you have to be sharp. You got to be quick on your feet. You got to know people. You have to manage the safety of the hunt. And this group I have right now, they're just really conscientious, really energetic. They're all athletes, so they move good out there. There's a lot of athletic things. They all love dogs. We use dogs for the hunting. Dogs are how we got in this business. We can talk about that later, but we train dogs and dogs go on every hunt. And these guys are all good dog guys who love dogs. They're really kind to dogs. And just a good feeling. We were talking earlier about business is about mojo as much as anything. You can work as hard as you want, but if your mojo's off, you're not gonna outwork bad mojo.
Right.
And we have some good mojo right now.
That's awesome.
Now the trick is as the supreme leader. No, I'm not the supreme leader. I'm as their mentor really, and kind of more of their facilitator now. Is to recognize if their mojo's going off because they're tired.
Yeah.
A lot of times young guys don't know and they don't know what's wrong. And what's wrong is they need a day off, a little rest, making sure that happens too. So
yeah,
I was listening to Miss Griffith. Was it Kathy Griffith?
No,
one of your guests?
Jen.
Jen. And she was just talking about, management.
Oh yeah.
One of the other things. And with these guys, you still have to soft manage them. And that's just keeping their mojo right.
I like that. I think you said you've watched a few episodes that we've done, correct?
Yeah. I wanted to be prepared.
Okay, good. I don't know if you picked up on it, but one thing that I really love seeing is when people are at their peak in terms of their leadership and just where they're at with the organization is that they're not acting like the supreme leader or even the owner. They're acting as the steward.
Yeah.
And I said that to you the other day and you were like, yeah, I mean, like you really embraced it as a word that resonated with you.
Well, I always get like when people come to me, introduce me, say a member introduces me, they'll say, Charlie owns a club or Charlie runs a club, or how do they say it? They'll say like, this is Charlie's club. That's what they'll say. Okay. This is Charlie's club. And I said, no, this is your club and I'm the caretaker for it. And I've tried to make that part of my introduction for a long time because they'll always say, that's how they say it. This is Charlie's club. No, it's your club. And when you get a good group together, you got to let them have their head a little bit and let them make some mistakes. And they're not going to, if they're a good group, they're not going to get in so deep where you can't reel it back in and fix it, or they can't fix it. You want them to recognize if you see them heading the wrong path, you want to just mentioned, hey, this is looking a little bit like a mistake I made 4 other times. I'd hate to see you make it a 5th time for the organization. So that's kind of the role I'm trying to take now.
And you're enjoying it? You're finding this is where you're meant to be right now?
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah. It's a sweet spot, as they say.
Good. But
there's a lot of other things that are, things are going well in the economy, fairly well. During 2008, it was hard to be that manager because everything felt like a disaster.
Yeah.
I remember, so my dad, to get back to being a young manager, so I was a very young owner. My dad got ill. My dad started the club. My dad was Preston Mann. He started the club in 1958. And I was born late in his life. He was like 48 when I was born.
Okay.
And so he was born in 1918. So like all my friends are getting raised by these hippies, right? I'm getting raised by this World War II hardcore guy, from Missouri. And I'm like, I had a whole different outlook on the world than most of my peers. And like, I'd look at their dad and I'm going like, my dad would never let anybody do that, let alone his kids,
I've been hearing a lot lately about the knock. When an employee knocks on your office door and says, got a minute? And you immediately know it's some sort of IT incident. But Oxium IT can help. Whether you're having a problem, need consulting, an upgrade, or a managed IT approach, they focus on preventing cyber attacks and proactive solutions that deliver results. My friend Matt Loria and everyone at Oxium are ready to help before or after you get the knock. Visit Oxium.com and let Oxium IT help you outsmart chaos.
I lost my train of thought. He started the club. He got ill when I was he started getting a little ill and realizing he's not going to be able to keep doing this. And I had 2 siblings, older brothers, and he wasn't ever going to, we actually called my dad the general. And I was thinking about your guest, Griffith, talking about, what was it, management by intimidation? Or
Yeah. She's talking about the auto industry.
Yeah, the auto industry. Well, that was the style of these guys. And we called my dad the general, And my brothers just couldn't handle the general. By the time I came along, the general was starting to get a little softer. And then all he saw and he realized is if he wanted to see his dream go on, he was going to have to give up on the reins a little bit. So he let me have a lot more leeway than my poor brothers ever had. Both my brothers have passed now, unfortunately, but I had a lot more leeway than they did, as they would say. And so now he comes to me and he says, you got to buy everybody in the family out of the business. So I'm 26 and I'm like, yeah, it's my turn. I can do this. This is nothing. I got it, And
what year, roughly?
1992.
Okay.
And those were good times, the roaring 90s. And I signed up for a deal that, looking back on it, if at 60, if I looked at it at 40, I'd be like, what were you thinking taking that deal? I mean, it was a 10-year note. I had a 2-year lease on property that we used, and the math just didn't add up. And he says, oh, don't worry, you'll be okay. So if you do want to sell a business, find an eager 26-year-old that thinks he knows everything. And that's an easy mark. And
extend some credit to him.
And let him in kind of easy, but so I'm 26 and I took over and, probably had no business being the owner of a company that size at 26 years old. But I had a great general manager that had been there a long time, a guy named Dale Jarvis, who was very supportive. And somehow I stumbled my way through, and I rented land from a publicly traded company called Masco Corporation back then. And the corporate secretary at Masco was a guy named Gene Gargaro. And for some reason, Gene liked me. And then the president of Masco at the time was a guy named Wayne Lyon, and he liked me too. But Wayne was kind of a tougher guy. He wasn't going to let me think I had a free pass. And Gene wasn't letting me have a free pass, but Gene always checked on me. And I remember Gene calling me. Now I'm like 5 years into my run. Charlie, how's it going? I said, Gene, It is going fantastic. I don't feel like I can do anything wrong. I try this, it works. I try that, it'll work. And everything's going really good. So this is like 97, 98.
Okay.
You know? He goes, Charlie, I don't know how to tell you this. And I think you probably already know it, but it won't always be like that. I said, I know, Gene, but I'm going to enjoy it while I can.
Yeah.
And sure enough, 5 years later, the recession in Detroit really started about 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And then by 2008, I'm like, ooh.
Feeling this.
Oh boy, this is stinging.
Because you're on the recreation side of the economy. Is that something they were cutting back on then at that point?
Yeah.
Obviously?
Well, so you talk about change in business. In 2008, we were 85% automotive.
And you said mostly manufacturer reps.
A lot of manufacturer reps, but a lot of publicly traded companies too.
Okay.
That had internal sales force.
Got it.
And any big publicly traded company was a member of Hunters Creek Club, auto supplier. And about 1992, I think, a guy named Ignacio Lopez came to town, and he was the VP of purchasing for General Motors.
Mm-hmm.
And he came out with an edict that said, nobody from General Motors is to go to lunch, is to go to a ball game, is to go to a hockey game with any supplier to General Motors Corporation. And if you're in a meeting with them and your nose is running and you take a Kleenex, I'm going to consider that you taking a bribe. I'm exaggerating, but that's about how this guy laid things out.
Okay.
And that changed corporate entertaining in Detroit tremendously when that happened. So all the General Motors guys got out of play. Warren turned into a ghost town. And that was my first real crisis in business. Like, how are we going to get through this? Mm. And my dad said, don't worry, something always fills in the gap in business. And I'm like, what's going to fill in the gap? And I got to back up. I remember there was a guy, and I'm not going to say his name, but he was a media buyer for General Motors.
Okay.
And he was real boisterous. And he comes up to my dad. He goes, this is before I owned the club, just before I bought my dad out. He goes, you're probably going to go out of business because General Motors isn't going to allow us to be entertained anymore. And my dad just lost it on this guy. He goes, you guys from General Motors, you're hubris. You think I'm going to rise and fall on just your business alone? I got another thing coming to you, buddy. And my dad was ready to take a swing at him. I grabbed him time to go, Dad. Time to go, Dad. That was right when he was starting to get a little shaky. But anyway, we got through it, with different industries filled in. And now it's really changing. I mean, it's more, there's still a lot of corporate entertaining, but it's a lot of privately owned companies that are rewarding employees or using it for vendor, like they'll entertain their vendor to talk to them about projects, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But I mean, back to the old days, 40% of our business was print media. So like Time Inc., National Geographic, the reps in Detroit all had memberships. Those guys had the biggest T&E budgets in town.
Because they were selling ad space?
Selling ad space in magazines. I don't even think any of those magazines have an office in Detroit anymore.
Probably not.
No, I mean, so that was like selling ice before refrigerators. You had the ice market locked up.
Everybody needs you.
Yeah, who needs black ice today? Similar situation. So the change, and I heard a friend of mine did a Harvard short course, and he came back. I said, what'd you learn at Harvard? He said the same thing that Mrs. Griffith said. He said, change will never happen any slower than it happens today. He says, that was my biggest takeaway. So that's what you got to just be ready for. And I'm playing a game for a living, right?
Yeah, right.
I'm just having fun. Nothing we do really. I always used to say nobody needs us, but guys will say, no, people need their entertainment and they need their fun.
They do. You need to have your recreation.
You need your recreation.
In some way.
You need to blow off some steam.
No matter what.
But there's a lot of substitutes for what we do too for that. So it might.
When you were dealing with the that downturn or that change, when Ignatius came in. Ignacio. What did you do? How did you, Whether it was, did you do anything to find the next market? Did you do anything to manage your mojo? You know, like looking back, what were the things you did right? What were the things you did wrong?
Nothing. Did nothing right. Just got really lucky.
Okay.
The statin drugs came out. The pharmaceutical drugs came up with these statin drugs for cholesterol management. And they came up with more than one at a time. So a pharmaceutical rep comes in one day and he said, can I join and bring doctors out? Yeah, you can join and bring doctors out. Of course you can. That's what we do. Okay. He said, most of my docs have Wednesday off. We never did any business on Wednesdays, right? So I want to book the next 6 Wednesdays. Oh, okay. And this guy booked 6 Wednesdays and brought docs out. And all of a sudden, about 3 weeks in, another pharmaceutical rep from another lab calls and said, hey, I hear XYZ Pharmaceuticals out there. Would you mind if I joined? No, you can join. And they were all competing for scripts on the statin drugs. And it just happened. And like when my dad said something fills in the gap, that filled in the gap.
Yep.
That business went away because a whole bunch of doctors got on a plane in Detroit and went to the Super Bowl in New Orleans and had too much fun and got arrested. And it made it all the way to Congress, and Congress told the pharmaceutical industry no more entertaining. You know, they used to have pens that said Viagra on them and handing them out, and they stopped all that. And that would have been right about the time the recession started.
Okay.
So
this is 04-ish.
05, 06, yeah. Mm-hmm. So once we lost that, now we're in it. And now I'm in the soup.
Okay.
And during 2008, there was nothing you could do. So we had to get, the fortunate thing was the guys in management at that time were still collaborative. I always said the best managers were the guys that were in World War II, mm-hmm. because they were all in the fight of their life together. And it didn't matter what walk of life you came from. You were in it with the guy next to you. Mm. Whether he was a pig farmer from Biloxi, Mississippi, or a kid who graduated from Yale and was drafted, or Ted Williams, or General Yeager, whoever was around was going in the Army, and they made sure that they were taken care of. And these guys recognized, if you didn't everybody was in the same boat. I remember calling up about 10 of my friends that I knew were all up against it. And I said, hey guys, we're all going down to Aniamo's for lunch, and we're going to all cry in our beer for an hour and try to have some laughs at the same time. And because I took them all in there and said, we're all in this thing together and we're going to get out of it. And I said, I don't know what it's going to take to do it. People came to the table, vendors came to the table, and we just had to buckle down, batten down the hatches, weather the storm.
Now, if not you, do you think any of your other buddies would have called the 10 of you guys together?
I don't.
Or is that what you bring to the group?
That's kind of what I bring to the group. It's like are
you the optimist?
They'd say no, but I am. Yeah. I'm the guy who's like, I'm the warrior, but I'm the guy who figures there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay.
We might have to go around a roadblock or two, but we'll get through it.
Yeah. And you think that's just because you've seen the other side of it so many times? Or were you just kind of built this way? I
think it's it's like a cultural thing from our family. Mm-hmm. I got into...
Was the general like that?
The general went through the Depression. Okay. And he always said, this won't last forever. It's going to end. It's too good to be true. He was he was, I don't want to say, he was a pessimistic optimist too. He was very positive in his sales approach and everything else, mm-hmm. but he was always figuring, like Gene Gargaro said, it's not always going to be like this. Mm-hmm. He was very adamant that my dad was very adamant it wasn't always going to be like this. There would be, and there will be again. There will be another crisis.
What do you think the next crisis is going to be?
If I knew that, I wouldn't be sitting here with you, Matt.
You'd be in your bunker.
No. I'd be probably working with Mark Spitznagel on a black swan fund somewhere.
What do you think? What do you think the general would say about AI?
He wouldn't even acknowledge it. He wouldn't even know what to say.
Would he ignore it?
Yeah, he wouldn't. He didn't embrace technology.
Okay. What about change though?
That was beyond his evolutionary scale. Okay. We're being forced to evolve very quickly because of technology.
When you said that, you said the rate of change will never be as slow as it is today.
Well, that's a common line, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, and it's.
I'm repeating what your last guest said.
Very true today.
It is true. I have a son, my oldest son I have a son who works in a business with me who has his older brother, my firstborn, is a tech guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually just sold a non-tech company, and he's spending every waking hour studying artificial intelligence, building apps,
mm-hmm.
doing all the things it'll do. And I get a phone call from him every 3 days. It's like, Dad, you don't realize. I said, no, I realize. I'm just past the point of, I'm going to have to embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been an early adopter of technology in our company, for accounting, for marketing. This is going to be really interesting to see what happens. There's going to be a lot of good that comes out of it. I think a lot of it, though, is going to be cost prohibitive.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things we would like it to do, we're not going to be able to get it to do in a costly manner.
Yeah, I was just reading an article. I'll have to
I'm not an expert.
Share this with you, but it was essentially the cost of I can't pull it up fast enough here, otherwise I would. But it was essentially the cost of time that's going into it for the return on the investment. It's currently still costing more in time than than you're getting out of it, but that will tip at some point in time.
At some point,
and you'll also get, right now we have a lot of noise in the equation, right? We've got new tech coming out every day, new ideas all over the place. If you've got 10 people around you, you've got 40 ideas that just came up that day from people who are maybe not even normally tinkerers or ideators. And so I think it's, we've got a lot of noise right now. It's very exciting. It's very, cybersecurity is going to just continue to explode because of it, because the way cybersecurity is being impacted is that all of the systems now have access to all of the other systems. And
right. So
there's just so much kind of creep and sprawl of the attack surface or the vulnerability surface. And it's just been a wild ride lately.
Recreation, hockey, basketball, baseball, hunting. There'll be ways it touches us, but hopefully maybe it'll free people up to have more time to recreate, to take care of themselves, take care of their health. Those are some of the things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a tech expert. I'm an early adopter. I'm not an expert. I think it'll find its way through.
Yeah.
Might take some legislation to stop certain things from happening.
I don't know. I don't know how you put these genies back in these bottles, but
yeah.
But regarding the tech at your club, like you said, you've been quite a bit tech forward in that, and bookings, things like that, just the systems that you use for all that. Is that where you would say
we're evolving all the time there. Yeah, for booking. I was going to talk about one thing. We just adopted a online booking platform a couple years ago, and I always had members asking me, "Why don't you publish a roster? Why don't you publish a roster?" And I'm like, "I'm not publishing the names of our members. This is we talked about how it was all B2B, business to business,
sure,
entertaining. And it's like, there's guys who don't even want to know they're here. And when I bought this technology package, it's designed for country clubs. It had this option to have a member roster.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden I'm thinking like, well, this is kind of cool that you can do it. Do I really want to do it? And then I'm like, yeah. And I have competitors who would just love to get their hands on our
database. Sure.
And there's members who, oh yeah, I got it. Here's a copy of it, because they don't understand. And it's like, so I was always maybe a little fearful of having that information out there. And then I'm thinking, this next change in our business where we're not so much B2B. It's more people entertaining themselves, a lot of family things. And then we get back to, your forte is relationship building. I said, this is the only way members can find out, like, oh, Matt Loria, he likes to hunt. I didn't know he was a hunter. They'll see his name on there. Yeah. Might call you up and we get an extra hunt out of the deal.
Sure.
And I'm like, and I'm confident enough in my skills and I'm confident enough in my team to know that, yeah, they might go somewhere else. Somebody might recruit them, but I feel like we're on our A game. And if they do, that was a choice they made. I'm not afraid of losing them at this point. Where before I operated out of this fear, I might lose a customer, I might lose this. So we implemented this roster. So you go on, you fill out your profile, and you could upload a picture if you wanted to. And I'm like, God, no one's going to upload their picture.
Almost
everybody's uploading their picture. And I'm like, this is really cool. They're embracing this.
Sure.
It's a certain certain age demographic that's doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Guys my age aren't doing it, but the guys 53 and under are doing it. It's weird. There's a cutoff. Like if you were born in 74, you'll grab a hold of all this stuff.
Okay.
I'm just throwing it out there.
No, I know. I'm gonna publish that.
The guy in 66 doesn't do it.
I'm gonna give you credit for that.
So anyway, they're embracing this roster thing. It's helping people learn about other people.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, and we know, historic clubs have done that for a long time now. I mean, the Detroit Athletic Club, almost every golf club has done it. And people have behaved. I mean, I think, you got to make sure that you establish the ground rules. I know when you're onboarded at those types of organizations, it's pretty explicit. Like, hey, this is for your use. It's not for your exploitation,
right?
Or for sharing outside of it. And
then it's cool. So people get a kick out of it.
Yeah.
It's like our own little mini LinkedIn.
Yeah, I love it.
For 450 members. The other thing is just sending emails where there's a call to action, click here to reserve.
Sure.
That just changes everything to people
they react. Did it used to just be all phone calls?
It was all phone calls.
Okay.
So we've cut the phone traffic by probably half.
Okay. Great.
But people click on that, and events that would take us 2 weeks to sell out, will sell out in 3 days now.
Good.
Yeah, so that's exciting.
So you're tech forward, man. This is good.
But the trick with tech is not to make it too cumbersome.
I would agree. You
have to once it's cumbersome, you lose. And we have a couple aspects of ours because we're trying to mine a lot of information out of them for just like a regular. If it's just an event, click here. Register, that's easy. But if they want to plan a outing, we have a platform to do it, but it's a little cumbersome. And that's my next project is to
figure out how to streamline that thing.
Yeah, let's streamline that baby a little bit.
Walk us through like a day in the life of, somebody pulls in. I mean, remember I came out there. I was introduced to you by Todd Hohauser.
Right.
Todd and I did an episode together, but Todd and I have known each other for a long time. I've always known he's into dogs and into hunting. Had no idea what club he belonged to. I didn't even know that these clubs existed, like I said. But, I drive into your place and, I see the dog crossing sign. It's one of the first things I see, but kind of explain the place to people. I mean,
well, we're
pretend it's to somebody who has never been to one.
Yeah. So our property is 1,020 acres contiguous with an additional 310 acres non-contiguous, about 20 minutes away.
Oh, okay.
So we're like 1,330 acres of property. And on that property, we have it divided up into 11 hunting areas. So we can take 11 groups out hunting at a time. If you wanted to come out, if you're a member and you want to come out by yourself, we call that a group. So you're out as a 1Z with a guide, and you would show up in the morning or after. We have afternoon hunt and a morning hunt. So a morning hunter would show up at 8:00, have breakfast, go out hunting about 8:45, hunt till 11:45, maybe come in and have lunch, maybe not, maybe just have a cup of coffee. If you harvested some birds, we clean them up for you, package them all really nice, and you take them home to your kitchen and prepare them. Or if you don't want to do that, we do some custom work where we're turn them into a pot pie or a sausage or jerky for you, and you take some jerky or pot pies home.
And then you're on your way by noon, basically.
By noon, yeah. Okay. Or you come in at noon, have lunch, and hunt in the afternoon.
Great. And
get out of there about 4:30.
Now, are you supplying dogs?
So yeah, we have a dog.
Or does somebody have to own their own dog?
That's one thing about our business. Before when I first started, it was all guys used our dogs pretty much.
Okay.
Or if they owned a dog, they left it with us year round.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
People you have the boarding all year long.
We have boarding
too?
and training, sure.
Okay.
People didn't keep dogs in their house 40 years ago. They just didn't do it. Partly because they didn't have flea and tick collars.
Okay.
And all the good flea and tick control. Now it's probably 60% members that own dogs and bring their dogs for the hunt, and probably 40% use our dogs.
And what's the percentage, or how many people board their dog with you year round?
Very few now.
Okay, so
most dogs live in the house.
Most of them take them home.
Yeah, most people cry when they leave their dog for the weekend. Like, we're leaving. If they leave their kid at camp, they're like, yeah. But if they leave their dog, they're like, oh my God, my dog. He's not going to be with me for 3 days. Yeah. I'm like, really?
That's great.
The dog's fine. It's going to have more fun than you are on vacation here.
Yeah, because even the dogs that are boarded there, or the dogs that are yours that are boarded there, they're getting to work.
Yeah, they
go to almost every day, right?
Yeah, it's like camp.
Yeah,
summer camp.
They play every day.
Yeah.
So so it doesn't matter if you own a dog or not. I mean, you do have to have a member, or a member has to bring you, or you have to have membership.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't just kind of walk up.
A member can bring as many guests as they want, as long as they're with them.
Okay.
If they want to send somebody, I'm like, why don't you want to be with that person for today? I think you better be here with them.
And so remind me, because I didn't know what a chucker was.
So a chucker is actually a partridge.
Okay.
It's a little gray bird, about, I don't know how to tell you how big it is. It's the size of a ruffed grouse.
Okay.
And they're native to Israel, India, desert regions. They were translocated to the United States, to Idaho, Washington State, Oregon. They took hold there. We're too arid here, or too humid here. They like arid regions. So the humidity's too high here for them to reproduce. Climate's just not right. So we bring them in and turn them loose for this hunting season.
Oh, okay.
So pretty little bird.
Gotcha.
Good sporty bird.
And to eat them?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's part of the bonus is that pheasant's great, and so is chucker partridge.
How do you cook it?
Chucker partridge, you treat it like a chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't overcook it. That's the trick.
Okay. Does it have to be cooked as hot as a chicken?
Yeah, you should take it up to 160.
160?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm taking my notes.
Yeah. But we talk about the chucker partridge, and then because it was not indigenous to the United States. But what people don't realize is the pheasant wasn't indigenous either.
And how did it come here?
It came here, the first time was, I think, in Washington State, where they released them in like 1890-ish. And they brought a few to Michigan then as well. But the first big release in Michigan was like 1915, I think.
Okay.
And I think
why did they bring them? For sport?
They figured that they would take hold, that they could translocate them, and they'd take hold. And I think the first season in Michigan was in 1925.
Okay, and the pheasant can survive then.
It can survive as long as it has the habitat.
Okay. And are all these ground birds like are you forcing these out through the dogs walking into the brush, forcing the bird out and you're shooting it? Is that the
Pretty much that's the game, yeah.
Okay. And what else? What else are you doing there?
We have a lot of people belong just to fish. We have a beautiful 60-acre lake. It has bass, pike, bluegill, crappie in it. We keep John boats with electric motors for the members to use. They'll call us up and say, hey, I want to fish tomorrow. We'll have a boat set up with their name on it. And they'll go out and fish for a couple hours in the morning or all evening. And
do you have all the gear there and everything too? Like the rods and reels and stuff? Or
yes. Most people bring their own. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm asking because I want to join, but I'm going to be the newbie. I'm not going to have all the stuff.
We have poles, fishing poles.
Okay. You come out and put the worm on it for me too?
If Mr. Laurie, if that's what you need, that's what we'll do.
What does the general person do though? Bring their own.
They usually bring their own so that, they don't have my tangled up. The last guy who tangled up my rod, the line has memory.
Okay. We talked about, the other day, we were talking about just how many people right? You are an exceptionally well-connected guy in Detroit, but you really fly under the radar.
That's probably a fair statement.
I would agree.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Tell us about that, though. Tell us about your theory of kind of networking.
Networking's a funny thing. We meet a lot of people. We meet them at their best. They're there. They're having fun. We soft sell. If they're there and they want to join, sure, we'll take them, but we don't say, oh, Mr. Laurie, you should be a member. Here's the info, Once in a while, I'll do it just to nudge a guy because I know he's thinking about it and he's afraid to ask for whatever reason. But I guess it's really blessed to meet lots and lots of people from, all industries in Detroit. My wife, if we go to the airport, she's like, you always know somebody at the airport. And I said, yeah. And it doesn't matter what city we're in America. And my dad was the same way. So know a lot of people. It's a great thing, but I try not to I try to really respect people's privacy. Mm-hmm. I don't reach out. If they come to the club, I might, if I see them again, there's certain people like they want me to reach out to them, but if they don't invite me to, I don't, Mm-hmm. So, but we just touch a lot of people. We touch a lot of people. And they're there having fun. So that's why I know so many people. Yeah. And in our family, we've been in Detroit since 1932. So it's multi-generational relationships, really.
Good stuff. You play hockey, so you told me you were telling me that you might come here with a black eye or something.
I didn't get
today.
A black eye last night.
Good job. So you stayed out of trouble.
I was +1, just for the record.
Did you guys win?
We didn't win. No.
Okay. Was it the championship or?
No, we still have another shot at it.
Okay. All right. Good. What's your team look like?
It's old guys, but good group of guys. I played hockey since I was 12. And in Flint, Michigan's quite a hockey town. It actually Genesee County had more high school hockey players than any county in America for a long time. It's not the case anymore, but when I was a kid, it was. And these are guys. It's an over 60 league that are guys I've known a long time. I just look forward to seeing them and get a kick out of harassing them.
That's great.
I'm a little chirpy, so
okay.
They kind of
you play a little dirty.
Not anymore.
No. There was a time.
There was a time they called me Charlie Ose. But, hockey's cost me a lot of money over the years because I should have been working instead of playing hockey. But
you seem to have done okay.
I remember, talk about knowing people. So, for a while, all the wings would come, like not all the wings, but Darren McCarty and Joey Kosher. And we'd see those guys, Probert, quite a little bit. And remember having lunch with Darren McCarty one day, and my dad was having lunch with him, and my dad says, "You know who this guy is?" "No, I don't know who he is." I said, "He's a hockey player." He says, my dad looks at me, "I don't know why you go play hockey all the time. You'll never make any money playing hockey." And I said, I know, Dad, I'm not going to, but I like to play. And McCarty goes, "You know, Mr. Mann, my dad used to tell me the same thing." So I've had a really, great time with ice hockey for sure.
Got it. Every business owner has some characters that have showed up along the way, and always a good story or two. What's a character that's popped up in your world? A little bit of Hunters Creek folklore.
When you say character,
story.
like
like the story of the guy who did something he wasn't supposed to do, or I don't know.
There was we run a pretty tight ship safety wise, so nobody's really done. I don't have any like crazy stories like that. I have stories of guys that were my stories are more like, man, these guys are really cool guys. Like they've accomplished a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say like the most famous person we ever had there, in my opinion, the most famous person would have been General Yeager.
Okay.
So he was a really cool guy. He was working as a spokesperson for AC Delco.
Okay.
Back in probably the 90s. And he had to be in Detroit for a photo shoot. And the photographer was a good friend of my dad's, a great member. And he brought him quail hunting for the day. So I got to spend, my dad and I spent the whole day with General Yeager.
Oh, that's fun.
That was really cool. Great guy.
What did he teach you?
He said that I got it pretty good and not to ever join the military.
You still got to play with guns and nobody was shooting at you?
Yeah, I think that's what he was implying. Okay. Yeah.
What else do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about like one more guy that I just admire a lot is Kirk Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
I've known Kirk since I was probably 17, and he's a guy I've watched evolve a lot over the last 43 years, as a person.
Yeah.
From a young, brash, hard guy into a really interesting stakeholder in the community now,
mm-hmm.
with what he's doing with his foundation for Parkinson's and
sure.
the Parkinson's Center he's doing out in Clarkston. So that's a person that I really admire. I don't think he knows that until now, but
yeah, he's a good guy. I met him a couple of times. His daughter-in-law worked for us for a bit.
All right.
So got to go to their wedding, got to go to her wedding, and meet the family and stuff. And then we sponsored a few of the Kirk Gibson golf outings too.
Yeah.
So got to see him there and get to know him. And yeah, so I've only got to meet him with his now that he's all calmed down, I guess, right? Not when he was
toughest guy I ever knew.
Yeah. But I mean, I watched him when I was a kid. So I mean, he was an idol to me as a kid. So yeah, good guy.
So a lot of great people I've met, but those are the two standout people in my book that I've got to spend time with. But there's a million great guys. Todd Hohauser, he's a great guy.
Sure.
A lot of guys who never hit a home run in a World Series that are really great guys and do a lot for the world as well.
Yeah. Well, you got any questions for me? You want to grill me on a few things, or?
Yeah, man. What do I got to do to get more technologically savvy?
Well, I'm gonna come over and show you how to use Claude AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some ChatGPT.
Yeah. Claude. That's the one my son says is going to win. He says Claude's the guy.
Claude is it's pretty powerful stuff. We're actually going to an event next month here in Detroit, a Claude user group.
Is the software business going to take a big hit?
I think a lot of software business is going to take, some levels of hit. I have a feeling that they're going to probably interconnect what they already have into Claude and other systems like it. So I think we're going to see some collaboration stuff, but I think we're going to see some churn in the software business. But right now it's just a noisy marketplace with a lot going on, a lot of opportunity to help companies, streamline a thing or two, to automate a thing or two, and but you're seeing every big software organization has some level of AI already being built in. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see where it all kind of shakes out. But we are definitely in the hype curve, the Gartner hype curve. It's I can't remember what it's called, but it's we're at the tippy top of the hype.
The wheat will be separated from the chaff eventually.
Yeah. Then we go through the trough of disillusionment, I think it's called. I'll have to post I'll post a little article about that and talk about that a little bit more.
Cool. I really appreciate getting a chance to sit and chat with you today.
Yeah, I appreciate that you hosted me for a nice breakfast.
We'll do that again for sure.
At the club, and
I'm all about the food.
You're good at it too. So. The food is good there. So yeah, just thanks for your hospitality. Appreciate you, becoming a fast friend, and it's great getting to know you.
All right, thanks, Matt.
This episode of the BLTNT podcast is sponsored by Auxium, business IT and cybersecurity designed to outsmart chaos. And powered by Juniper Networks. Automate your network with Juniper Networks and the Mist AI platform, the world's first AI-driven wired and wireless network.